when I'm at live events, speaking at trade shows, conferences, or often on Twitter, I get the question, how do I get into the hunting industry, or how do I get to do what you do? And I really think what people are asking is really, number one, how do I have my own TV show, or how do I make a living being a hunter? I'm going to just tell you straight out, we're in the field today. I'm not going to edit this, produce it. This is raw. I'm just going to answer the question. And everything I'm going to tell you is not 100% accurate. It's my experience, okay? But it's based on experience. And there's some things, I made some notes on my phone that I'm going to reference a little bit. I think it's the wrong question because, number one, it's not that hard to get into an industry. You can find your way into an industry. I think people are misled. They think because you have a TV show or you produce media like I do, and I'm just, man, I'm certainly not a huge name, there's no doubt, but there's guys much bigger than me. But I will tell you this, people are often misinformed because they think that everybody in the industry makes a full-time living doing this kind of thing, and that's just not true. I would say, I don't know the hard numbers on it, but I can tell you that it is a small number of people, incredibly small number of people that actually make a full-time salary enough to actually maybe feed their family, and that's about it, doing television. It's a very hard road, and so I would ask you, if that's really what you want to do, you're going to have to figure out a different way to get into this deal. So let me get into some of my notes here and tell you some of the things. First, I would say if you think you're going to get to hunt a lot, you're probably really naive. And what I mean by that is, my dad's a PGA golf pro. Guys would come into the pro shop all the time. How do I make a living playing golf? And my dad would say, do you get to play a lot of golf? They'd say, sure. Do you like golf? They would say, absolutely. He would say, then don't be a golf pro, because it's going to be a business for you, and it can suck the joy out of golf. The same is true for hunting. Now, it hasn't sucked the joy out of it for me, but I can tell you, if you think it is anything less than absolutely hard work, you're out of your mind. The other thing I would say to you is you're going to have to be prepared to work for free. You're going to have to work for free. It took me years, and I mean years, to start making money through sponsorships. You got to have a following. You got to have a reason for people to throw money at you, and that is very hard to do, and it takes a lot of time to build. So you need to be ready to do it. Let me give you an example of this. One of my great mentors in many ways in the industry has been Will Primos, great friend of mine, a brother in Christ. Will has made it public, so I don't mind saying this. He did not take a salary for 10 years when he had Primos. Think about it, for a decade. He did not take a salary, lived very meager, he and his wife. So you need to think about that. What Will Primos had to go through to build what he built. The reason most people don't have that is because they're not willing to put out that kind of effort. So let's move into another issue. And that is, find your niche. When you say you want to be in the outdoor industry, ask yourself why. You can make calls, you can make gear, you can do media like I do. Maybe you want to get into editing or production. Maybe you want to get into consulting. Maybe you want to get into marketing. Maybe you want to get into sales. You can come alongside. There's all kinds of different types of jobs in the hunting industry. And so you need to think about what kind of role that fit your strengths. Now, if you're looking at, a lot of folks ask me all the time about media. If you're interested in having some type of, like I do with Sportsman Channel, if you want to have some type of media production, thought process or outfit, then you need to think through a couple things. Number one, I would say, build your tribe. Build your own tribe. My greatest mistake early on was deer hunting, turkey hunting, duck hunting, just filming stuff, just hunting. I mean, honestly, nobody cares. Anybody can do that. That's not really a big deal. I've learned over the years that my biggest strengths and my biggest, I guess you would say, punch and penetration into a market is the turkey world. I love it. I have a good time with it. It's still a lot of fun for me. And I love Sportsman Channel. I love the relationship I have with them. So if I were you, I would think through, what are you best at? And how do you know how to create a small niche in that market? Focus. Pick a direction, because once you do that, you've also picked ways you're not going to go. I know unless we're doing a project or a DVD project or some type of ministry endeavor, I'm not filming whitetail hunts anymore. I do from time to time, but they're project specific. So I know where not to focus my time, my money, my efforts. So I would say really think through, build your tribe, build your own following, and stay that course. The other thing I would say to you is, once you do, make a business plan. Meaning, you're going to have to figure out a way to monetize this if you want to keep it going. You're not going to get sponsor dollars. Listen, you're not going to get sponsor dollars. It's going to take you a long time after you've built numbers, proven that you can market their products, proven that people listen to what you say. In my world, I have quite a good following in the faith-based side of hunting. So I actually, my income comes from speaking at live events and some sponsorships. That's where I focus my efforts. You need to carve out a niche, and then you can approach a sponsor of any sort with a business plan of how you think you can move the sales needle for them, and then maybe they'll look at putting some funding toward what you're doing. So pick a tribe, build a plan, and then get into video. I did that totally reverse, like 99.7% of all guys do. You start videoing first, spending all this money, all this effort, all this fuel, gas, travel expenses, and really don't know what you're going to do with it. You're just going to try to make a splash. Oh, we got a good idea for a hunting show. Listen, man, the hunting industry, when it comes to shows, it is so saturated. 15 years ago, you could get noticed. Now, it's very difficult. So I focus on web media, social media platforms, love what Sportsman Channel is doing. It's a great niche for me. So to recap it for you, first, ask yourself why you want to get in the hunting industry. If you think it's cool, I promise you, after about 2 years, it's not going to be cool anymore. 2 or 3 years of traveling, doing all these things, broken friendships, burned bridges, all the things you're going to have to go through, it's going to be hard on you. So ask yourself why, find out what role you want to play in that industry, and then at that point, build you a plan to build out your future and go with it. Like I said, not everything I told you is 100% accurate. There are exceptions to everything, but I would think long and hard before you want to go down the road of just putting in a media show or a TV show of any sort. You need to really think through what you're doing, and then maybe you might save yourself a lot of pain and a lot of time. I'm Jason Cruz, and I hope this helps you even just a little bit before you head down a path that you'll have to backtrack on.